This episode of the Henderson Football Show is brought to you by Rar and Jim of Henderson. In fact, every episode of the Henderson Football Show in 2023 is brought to you by Rar and Jim of Henderson. And Logan has been sponsoring now for the third year. This will be the the fourth year of Henderson football, all because of Rar and Jim of Henderson and Logan Edmondson. And we do appreciate that. They're located at 2101 Highway 64 in Henderson. You can give them a call, 903-987-5858. You can find them online at rarandjimhenderson.com. You can also find them on Facebook. Just type in Rar and Jim of Henderson. And we've talked before about how at Rar and Jim of Henderson, it's not just about working out. It's a family atmosphere that they want to know your goals, and then they're going to help you try to get to those goals and strive for them. And when you achieve them, they're going to celebrate with you. Also, Logan knows it's not just about working out. As he says, nutrition is just as important as exercise when it comes to achieving your fitness goals. Proper nutrition is essential for achieving strength and muscle gains, and he backs that up because now at the gym you can buy prepackaged meals. They're healthy, they're easy, and also it's really easy to pay. You don't have to have cash. You walk in, you get the meal you want, and you cash app for it. So check out Rar and Jim of Henderson, again located at 2101 Highway 64 in Henderson.
Listening to the wind of change.
And it is a wind of change for the Henderson football program. Hello, everybody. Terry Bennett here on the Raw Iron Gym of Henderson Football Show. Right here on the S2S Sports Network, part of L4 Media. As once again, we're talking football. Man, I love it when it's full-time football, and I love it that we're talking Henderson football. And it is a wind of change for the Lions this year, and it's going to be an exciting ride, and we're here to take that journey with you. As each and every week, we'll be talking to the head coach of Henderson, Coach Clay Baker, about the week before, the week of. Basically, because, the last couple of years we did the Henderson show, we could never get the coach to want to come on, and I understand why. They were struggling. So it would be just Grant and I talking. So you might not understand if you haven't listened to our other coaches shows what we do. And so basically it's a review and preview. And so each week we'll have Coach Baker on and we'll review last week. We'll preview this week, talk about the ins and outs of the program, how the junior high and the JV are doing, just checking in on things when it comes to Henderson football. Now, this week's a little different. We're leaving. In fact, I am recording this on Thursday morning. Coach Baker, his schedule is just set up to where the only time we can interview him mostly in the season will be Thursday afternoon. Don't worry, the shows will be up by Thursday, 5 p.m., so you have plenty of time to listen to them or listen to them Friday on the way to the games because these are 15 to 20-minute little clips. But that wasn't able to happen today because Grant and I are going to Timpson to watch Timpson versus Beckville. And so that just made it to where we couldn't really record the episode. So what we decided to do is I had interviewed Coach Baker on our On the Move series for coaches, new coaches in 4A, 3A, and 2A earlier this year. We're just going to play that one for this episode. And then we'll pick up next week with Coach Baker. We'll review the Liberty Ilo game, talk about the Hallsville game. I'm very curious what's going to happen this week. You never know how a team's going to be. It's hard to know how a team with a full roster coming back, their coaching staff coming back, how they're going to perform in week one, and especially when it's a new coaching staff. And so this is going to be an interesting game. Liberty Ilo is a very solid team this year. And, man, Henderson's got a tough schedule. You've got Liberty Ilo, you've got Hallsville, you've got Marshall, and then White House, and then, as we all know, the District of Doom, Lindale, Chapel Hill, Kilgore, Jacksonville is going to be improved. I think Palestine's going to be really, really solid this year. Athens, watch out for the Hornets. So this is going to be a fun year, and it's going to be fun to talk to Coach Baker through the season. But here is his interview he did for me for On the Move, the coaching show we do in the offseason, talking to coaches who have moved to new schools in 4A, 3A, and 2A. And then next week, we will be back here on the Raw and Jim of Henderson Football Show to interview Coach Baker for week 2. Terry Bennett back here, now joined by the brand new head coach of the Henderson Lions, Coach Clay Baker. And Coach, first off, congratulations. What's it like being back home?
Yeah, it's been great. Everybody's been extremely welcoming. The kids, the community, everybody. It's still a little bit surreal being back here in a place that did so much for me. And then also, getting to do it, one of my first hires that I got to make was my defensive coordinator, Robert Tamplin, who's also a Henderson graduate that I played ball with. So getting to do it with him, a guy that I consider a brother, it's been a great experience so far.
Well, you talk about you being from Henderson and your defensive coordinator being for Henderson. And let's be honest, the last couple of years, it felt like Henderson being inconsistent, and it just kind of felt like the program had kind of got detached from the community. You being a Henderson guy, him being a Henderson guy, I would assume the first thing is you're trying to kind of reconnect to the community.
Yeah, absolutely. We've had a few things where we've gotten out and got to speak to a few groups and different people in the community. And I mean, as I said, they've all been extremely welcoming, and most of them either know me or I know them, or we know some family members. So, we've all got a connection in some kind of way. But it's been great with the community and the kids and everybody else. And, that's, with me and him both being from here in Henderson, we understand what the tradition is, and we understand what the expectations are and what the community expects. So that's something that I feel like, we're gonna do everything in our power to reach those expectations of what the community expects.
Now, talking about, Henderson being a home, Price Carlisle was pretty much a home to you as well. You'd been there since 2008. You'd been the offensive coordinator and then the head coach in 2018. So it was a hard decision, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah, it was a very tough decision. I'm forever grateful for my time at Carlisle. I love those kids there. I love the community, the administration. They've been nothing but great to me and my family. They gave me my start, and it was part of my growth in this profession was there and underneath that administration. So it was a very tough decision. And then, obviously after making the decision and talking to the kids, that was easily one of the toughest things I've had to do in this profession was looking at those kids after being there for that long and then telling them that I'm no longer going to be there. That was a very tough thing.
Yeah, but you got to be proud of the foundation that you and your dad, who was the head coach before you at Price Carlisle, the foundation y'all have laid for the Indians going forward.
Yeah, definitely. And that's a lot of props to him. My dad, he came in and completely changed that program there and that community and everything else. I mean, they were at a time where athletically there wasn't a whole lot of success there, and I give him a lot of credit. He came in and did that before I ever joined staff there. All I did was try to continue the lead that he had set and continue to do my part in helping keep that program going the direction that he had it going.
You talked about your last talk with your Price Carlisle players. What was your first talk with your Henderson's players like after you got the job?
Yeah, just to introduce myself, to tell the guys, that I am familiar with the tradition here, and I am familiar with the expectations here, that I'm from here, that it means a lot to me, that this program does, and then we had a good talk with the junior class. It's going to be seniors. One of the things that I talked to them about, I asked them if they've ever played in a playoff game in football, and none of them were able to raise their hands. And I told them, as someone who's from this community that's put so much blood, sweat, and tears into this program, that hurts my heart. Not just being their coach, but just to know that a group of guys who are willing to put in that sweat and sacrifice for this program have not had that opportunity. So I just told them I by no means told them I was going to be able to give them that, but I did tell them that I was going to do everything in my power to help them get this program back to the tradition that I know it's capable of getting to, that as long as they would give me everything they got, that I'd promise I'd give them everything I got in return to help them get to the level that this program, that we feel like this program should be at.
Offensively, what are you going to do? What is your scheme? What do you like to do?
We'll be spread, now we'll be very multiple out of it. We'll do all kinds of different personnels, whether it's 10, 11, 12. We'll have a lot of different personnels, a lot of moving, shifting, motions, but we'll be spread out of it. Now, as far as run, pass, percentages, things like that, I mean, it's hard to say until we get a little bit better look at the roster and the kids and get a little bit better feel for them after we see them out of some pads for a while. But yeah, we'll definitely be spreading, and try to move the ball around a lot and put it in a lot of different guys' hands and find ways to get our playmakers in open space.
You bring up a good point, though. You're talking about when you see your kids more and stuff. Are you the type, now that you've taken the Henderson job, did you go look at a lot of film from the last couple of years, or have you, or do you just kind of start from scratch and just what I see from here on is what I judge off of?
It's a little bit of both. I mean, I think you've got to give every kid a fresh start, regardless of anything else that might have happened in the past. You know, we got to give them a fresh start and start brand new here. But yeah, we've definitely watched our share of film multiple times. We've watched every game, practice video, anything that we've got our hands on. We've watched just to try to get an idea of what some of the things we feel like the kids are good at, and then what some of the things that we feel like we need to really kind of work on early on to try to correct. But, you know, if there's any things we've seen that are mistakes or things that we would like for them to be better at on film, it's definitely nothing we're going to hold against them from day one. You know, every kid's got a fresh start and an opportunity to prove themselves.
Well, and usually when a program struggles, you get the saying there's as many great football players walking the halls as there is on the football field. Are you trying to get the numbers up at Henderson?
I mean, that's something that we've addressed a little bit. We've got a few kids. There's a few that have came and said they'd like to join the program. And like I said, we got open arms right now. Anybody that wants to have a fresh start and to come be a part of the program, you know, then we're gonna welcome into it. But, you know, we want to put our focus on the guys that are here, the guys that do want to be here. You know, a lot of times if there's guys who have gotten out of the program, they got out of it for a reason.
Yeah.
So, you know, we just want to make sure that we do have the right guys in the locker room that want to commit, to fully commit, and be a family guy, and be a team guy, you know. So we want to make sure, you know, we do want to see numbers increase, but it's important that we got the right numbers.
And for all the talk of rebuilding Henderson and everything, as you and I kind of talked when we were setting this interview up, it's great to rebuild, but man, you picked the wrong district to try to be rebuilding in. It's
not called the District of Doom for no reason. It's definitely not a favorable schedule. You know, and our non-district schedule is tough too. Out of our 4 games, we got 3 out of the 4 are 5A schools. So there's not going to be any relaxing, easy Friday nights. That's for sure. But you know, I can tell you that we're gonna have a plan. We're gonna be prepared, and we're gonna put a group of kids out there that'll fight for 48 minutes. You know, that's our goal. We don't know what the scoreboard's going to reflect on it, but we do know that our kids are going to have a plan and be prepared when they're out there. And we're gonna put we're gonna find us 11 guys we can put on the field to make Henderson proud, that's gonna fight and give everything they got for 48 minutes.